If you have an online business based out of Australia and you ship to the US, then you'll know that this process has become a little more complicated and costly. Due to the new tariffs put in place, Australia Post has implemented a new system to pay them. This system is operated by a company called Zonos, and in order to ship any product valued under $800 to the US, you will now need to pay a 10% fee on the price of each item through them. The interesting part about this whole new tariff system is that it's supposed to help the economy of America. However, these tariffs could just be passed directly onto the American consumer, negating the whole point of having them in the first place. However, this entirely depends on what we do. We can decide to absorb the extra cost and keep our prices the same to maintain our sales volume while operating at a lower profit. We could pass the entire fee onto the consumer through a raised shipping fee to maintain our profits while taking a hit to our sales. Or we could just meet somewhere in the middle. Who you charge these to is completely up to you, but until Trump finishes his term in office, the tariffs are removed and this entire process becomes pointless. Here's how you do it. To start with, you'll need to create a free account with Zonos. There is no subscription fee, however they do have a processing fee on each order that applies to the parcel in its entirety, on top of the 10% tariff that is applied to each individual item in the parcel. So if you're sending 3 items in one parcel, you will have to pay 10% on each one, plus the Zonos fee for the parcel as a whole. How joyous. Once your account is set up and running, then you'll want to head over to the settings tab and add in your billing information. Once that's done, go to integrations. This is where you hook up your Australia Post account to Zonos with your Australia Post shipping number. There are 3 types: the Australia Post customer number, which is for sellers with low sales volumes, the Australia Post business customer number, which is for sellers with medium sales volumes, and the merchant location ID, which is for sellers with high sales volumes. Click the link in the description to find out where your respective number is. So whatever type of Australia Post account you're using, you'll need to use that number. If you have more than one, you'll need to do an integration with each one separately. It is very important to get this step correct, as using the wrong number will result in your parcels being stopped at the airport and being sent back to you. When it comes to posting your item, you still post it as normal from whatever platform you use. You will, however, need to include an accurate HS code, which you can get by using the Zonos platform. Just type in whatever it is that you're selling and it will give you the relevant code. You also need to include the country of origin as well as the value of the goods. However, these will likely be automatically generated when you make the label, but depending on what system you use to generate labels, it may not. So just make sure you double check. If you don't include all this information, your parcel will most likely be returned to you. I use Shopify along with an app called Easy Label. When I go to make the label, I add the HS code and it adds in the country of origin and value of goods automatically. It then sends the information down the chain to Australia Post, which is then sent to Zonos. So once your item is in the mail, you can check the tracking to see if you've set everything up properly. If you see this, then you are good to go. And after a few days, Zonos will send you a lovely invoice for the parcel. But if you see this, then you haven't linked your account properly and your parcel will likely be returned to you. I'm still not sure if this is paid automatically or if you have to pay it manually, so just make sure you check your Zonos account daily to find out for yourself. Now, because gifts under $100 do not apply to these tariffs, you may be thinking, maybe I'll just mark all my parcels as gifts. However, if you do this, it's going to be quite risky, and although it may work to begin with, if you're sending hundreds of gifts to the US every single month, it's not going to take the US Customs very long to figure it out. For up-to-date information, make sure you check the Australia Post website so you aren't missing anything. Hope this video has helped. Thanks for watching.